Today we're going to talk about the difference between perfectionism and excellence. So what is the difference? I can tell you, as a high-achieving woman, as a goal-oriented woman, this is something that many of us struggle with. And I have been calling myself for the last several years a recovering perfectionist. So if you are around my age or close to my age, you may remember the old Lexus commercial, The Pursuit of Perfection. So one of the things that I try to remind myself these days is that the pursuit of perfection is nothing more than an old Lexus commercial. It's not reality. The only thing that the pursuit of perfection gets us is stressed, heartache, angst, anguish, and massive migraines. Okay, it does not actually get us anywhere other than miserable. Now, I used to have a mentor many years ago in the very beginning of my career as an entrepreneur, and she told me that I was a walking migraine because everything had to be done perfect, but everything had to be done yesterday. And that pretty much sums up my nature. If I am just living in my natural programming, that's how I'm wired. I want it done perfect and I want it done yesterday. I do not have patience as a natural virtue. So I also have a very hard time settling for anything less than absolute perfection in any area of my life. I am my toughest critic, and because I am a high self-critic, then I'm also highly critical of everything around me. So one of the things that my mom even noticed about me over the last few years is I've been really working on this trait and developing a pursuit of excellence as opposed to a pursuit of perfection. She would say to me, "Oh my gosh, your standards have really lowered." And the first few times she said that, it was like a dagger in the heart. I took it as judgment, I took it as criticism, and it wasn't. She was actually relaxed and she was glad because I wasn't a raging maniac anymore, that I was willing to settle for a few imperfections here and there in my life. So what is the difference between the pursuit of perfection and the pursuit of excellence? What's the difference between excellence and perfection altogether? Well, if you look at the word excellence, okay, the root word of excellence is excel, and it's a Greek word that means to rise above. Okay, rise above what? Well, rise above normal, rise above ordinary, rise above average, rise above mediocrity. But in reality, it means rise above your current state, to rise above where you are right now. So the pursuit of excellence is the constant ongoing pursuit of improvement, of getting better, of striving for more, and not being stagnant where we are right now. That is the pursuit of excellence. And if you look up excellence in the dictionary, the root opposite, the antonym of the word excellence, is mediocre. Now, when I first learned that about 15 years ago, it blew my mind because I would have thought that the opposite of excellence would be terrible, but that's not the case. The opposite of excellence is mediocre. So you know that one of my life mottos is waging war on mediocrity and pursuing excellence with every fiber of my being. That's where it comes from, okay? So on the flip side of that, on the opposite side of looking at perfection, okay, we know what perfection means. It means no mistakes, no margin for error. We can't even do anything a little bit off, right? It means that we have to be a raging maniac, a raging lunatic all the time, where we have impossible standards because there's no such thing as perfection. No one is perfect. So we've got to be willing to accept ourselves and love ourselves where we are with our perfect imperfections. So how do we do that? How does a type A, high-achieving, goal-oriented woman learn how to settle for less than perfect? And how do we learn how to thrive in the pursuit of excellence instead of in the pursuit of perfection? There's one little word, and it's the word called grace. Having grace with yourself, having grace with the people around you, and being able to love yourself and love the people around you even in spite of those little imperfections. So what that looks like is it's learning how to balance the difference between being content versus being complacent. Okay, so what's the difference between the two? Well, if I'm complacent, it's like I'm stagnant. Like I just don't care to do anymore or have anymore or produce anymore. But if I'm content, it means that I can be grateful for where I'm holding right now with all the work I've done in my life thus far, with everything that's in my life right now, but I'm not growing stagnant. So I can be content and totally grateful and fulfilled in this moment while still striving for more tomorrow and the next day and the next. Make sense? So in my humble opinion, grace is the safety layer here. It's my trump card, if you will, that saves me from a never-ending, infuriating pursuit of perfection where I'm never going to achieve it. I'm never going to measure up. There's always something wrong. There's always something to be criticized. There's always something to be judged. And there's always something that's going to keep me up at night. Now, don't get me wrong. There's still things that drive me crazy that keep me up at night. And it is a constant work on myself to be grateful for where I am and to let the little things go. Because if I don't learn to let those little things go, then I have no joy in my life. But if I can learn to balance, now y'all know I'm not a big fan of this word balance, because balance, especially if I'm talking about work-life balance or life balance, balance means that all things have to be equal, and that's not the case. So I'm not talking about that version or that definition of balance. What I'm talking about here, when I'm talking about balance, I'm talking about an inner balance, an inner harmony between gratitude and contentment where I am right now, and knowing that tomorrow I'm going to wake up and work to become better than I was today. And that to me is the key to excellence. That is where grace comes in, so that I can be grateful for where I am today, but I know that there is no such thing as staying the same in life. I'm either moving forward or I'm moving backward. In Texas, we say you only get one thing when you sit on the fence, you get splinters. So I know that I don't want to sit on the fence. I don't want to stay where I am today. You're either moving up or you're moving down. You're either growing or you're dying. So if I want to be in forward momentum, but still be present to the moment, how do I do that? I do that with a little thing called grace, and understanding that I can love life today and I can accept myself and love myself with those perfect imperfections, but I can still give it 200% of my absolute best effort, knowing that it's not going to be perfect, that there are going to be little flaws and things that I can always do to improve, and I'm going to continue to work and improve those things, but without driving myself and my family and everybody around me crazy in the process. Get it? Got it? Good. I love y'all. I would love to hear your feedback, your thoughts, your own experiments as you are working to start ugly, keep moving, get better, failing forward, and learning how to balance perfectionism versus excellence. I always love to hear your thoughts, because I love digging deeper for success with you every single day. Love ya. See you next time.